More of your go-to for all things home. This is Home Answers Radio, presented by JeffBuysYourHouse.com, Access, Level 10 Coatings, Steiner Homes, Center Guard Plumbing, and by American Beam and Steel. Once again, here's Roger Piper.
Your go-to for all things home. It's Home Answers Radio.
Hi, welcome to Home Answers. I'm Roger Piper. This show's all about your home. We talk about all kinds of different things. And today we're going to talk about cabinets, countertops, with a great expert who's been doing it for a long time with a company with two great big showrooms, so you can go and touch, taste, feel all of it. It's Adrian Iluna with A American Custom Flooring. Welcome to the show.
Pleasure to be here, Roger.
Okay, I'll tell you what, when it comes to kitchens, this is what everybody talks about. What's your countertop going to be? What are you going to do to your cabinets? And that's a big part of any kitchen remodeling. And it follows trends. For a while, everybody's white cabinets. Then it's okay, now it's this, now it's that. And with countertops, there's like so many choices that didn't exist before that are there now. And I think that's when it comes to a kitchen remodel, that's one of the things you really need to pay attention to, because if you looked at it 5-10 years ago, it's changed. There are so many different types. And so let's start a little bit talking about cabinets. And again, one of those focal points. And, most kitchen remodels on the average are going to get you back an investment, 80, 90%, sometimes a little bit more. But, doing a kitchen remodel, if you do it correctly, is a pretty good investment, isn't it?
Certainly, it's it's the heart of your home.
Yeah.
So it's typically the one room where you can expect to spend the majority of your investment.
Mm-hmm. And when it comes to cabinets, you were talking about a trend being custom. That's where you change your layout and things like that. Well, you can't go to a big box store and do that, can you?
Most often than not, no. You need a certain level of customization.
Yeah. So if you want to change, and change your cabinets, change the layout, do all of that, you can't do that by buying cookie cutter. I mean, yeah, you can special order it and things like that, but you really need an expert. What are the materials and colors that people are looking at the most right now? And I know it changes. It has a lot to do with your taste and things like that, but people always like to know what's hot, what's new. What are the colors and materials that people are really liking right now?
So when you look at it, there's always going to be finishes, styles that are kind of classical, that just transcend time. And that's not anything different these days. You're always going to have your white type of kitchen, your shaker type of kitchen that is there to stay. The shift that I've seen lately, though, from, for example, you're talking about painting finishes, you're going from a stark white to an off-white type of a softer type of a color finish. Not only that, but warm color tones are in. They're coming in. So white oak, for example, a whitewashed white oak type of a finish, walnut. The darker browns are coming in. People want to get away from that white and gray and cold type of a pattern to a more warm type.
Yeah, because the trend for the last few years has been white.
Yeah.
So now we're moving away from that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's here to stay. I don't think there's going to be a big shift in the coming years from what I see. People do like that warm type of a surface. They're looking to make their house into a home, and that kind of warm color palette inspires that.
In a lot of the kitchens that you go into, there's not a lot of cookie cutter cabinets there. I mean, they may have been by the builder, built a certain way, but in essence, the kitchen that you have is probably somewhat custom right now, right? So the ability to do custom again is not that different from replacing what you have, is it?
That's correct. And when you look at a kitchen, you don't see the details unless you're in this field and you're seeing this every day. What I mean by that is not all cabinets are the same. Of course, if you have a good carpenter, a good GC, after they hang them up, they install them. You put your countertops, you do your finishes. You might not see that difference, but the material choices, not all materials are equal. They're not made the same.
What materials do you recommend for cabinets?
So,
And which ones
typically-
to stay away from?
Yeah, typically, plywood construction is a good choice, just because of durability, especially if you have. I recommend people not to go with like a furniture board construction or anything like that. Typically, a box that's out of plywood, at least half an inch, 5/8 thick plywood, is something that's durable. Do you see that when your kitchen's done? You don't, but you will see it with time.
Right.
In terms of durability, in terms of if you ever have a leak, one of your kitchen sinks, plywood performs better around moisture, around water, than any other.
Or you get
type
a
of
leak that's coming through the ceiling and
Correct.
hitting your cabinets.
Yeah,
You'll know what kind of material you have then.
exactly. It's if you go with a high, more premium type of a product like an oak, like a walnut, that's eventually going to last you way longer than any other kind of wood. People are kind of getting away from the cherry that was very prevalent in the 90s, the cherry, but a cherry is still a strong choice. So don't get me wrong, that's a strong wood. It's a matter of also the look that you're trying to achieve.
Sure. And what are wood products that they should stay away from?
In terms of
Cabinets.
I wouldn't say necessarily to stay away from. I think more often than not, if you go with a wood product, you're pretty safe there in terms of duration, in terms of a product that's going to perform at a good pace. I think more often than not, it is the look that you're trying to achieve with that wood product. So, for example, if you have a hickory kind of a cabinet, the grain is going to be very out there. It's going to be very much showing through your finish, whatever finish you do. So, typically, if you go with a painted finish, you'll go with maple wood on that because maple is not as grainy. So it's more of the look that you're trying to achieve. If you go with a walnut, everybody knows what walnut looks like: rich, expensive, exquisite. So it is. If you go, let's just put it to you this way: if you go with a wood product for your cabinets, you can't go wrong.
Okay. And when we're talking about cabinets, we got to bring this up. There's a lot of people that talk about, the 3-day remodel of your house. Don't replace, reface, and where they go in and they reface the cabinets. Tell us, as an expert in the field, tell us the advantages, disadvantages of using a company like that.
So certainly some people know that as an option and take that option out there. It's a quick way to spruce up your kitchen, so to say. Of course, from a budget standpoint, it's a lot less than replacing your kitchen cabinets completely. One thing, though, that you cannot do most often, you're stuck with a specific layout.
Right.
So if you're just resurfacing, there's more rigidity in what you can do, in the level of customization that you can have for your kitchen. People want their kitchen to be not only nice looking, not only durable, but functional,
right,
practical. And sometimes that takes different thoughts, different ideas to put into play because people's lifestyle changes. For example, if you have kids, if you have a family, your lifestyle is going to be different than not. So you need to make certain alteration to your kitchen layout to your for maximum practicality use.
Yeah, and if you've got something wrong with a cabinet, structurally, that's not going to fix it because all you're doing is just putting new surfaces on it. Sometimes new doors, that kind of thing, right?
Correct. And when you are going through a kitchen remodel and you're just tearing down stuff to the studs, you might come across certain things that require your attention that you would have never noticed had you not gone through that remodeling phase. I've heard this story many times from our customers. So it all depends on what your end outcome is. If it's a quick fix to get you through a couple of more years until you have sufficient money to invest in your kitchen, fine. If not, if it's for the long run, I suggest investing.
Adrian Iluna with A American Custom Flooring, and the website is aamericanflooring.com. And you do flooring, you do cabinets, you do countertops. You can help with installation, the whole bit, right? Everything involved with those three products. But we want to make sure we mention that you have an event coming up on 8/22 from 9 to 3 at the Niles location. And that is basically a one-day countertop sale. And with a showroom as big as yours, That's a lot of countertops if somebody's looking for them, right?
Right. That's correct. So just one distinction I want to make is we do offer different flooring finishes, flooring products, tiles, hardwood. We do not install that product. What we do install and fabricate from scratch is the countertops.
Yep.
Same thing goes for the cabinets. We will work with distributors to bring in the already finished product, and typically our clients pick up the cabinetry and have a GC or a builder install those for them. In regards to our sale event, it's on August 22nd between 9 and 3 at our Niles location at 7777 North Caldwell in Niles. And we have an event for pretty much anyone who wants to stop by, kind of see what we're about, kind of see our showroom, get to know us, maybe stop in, see some materials for your countertop, for your cabinets, get a free quote from us. We're going to have games. We're going to have free food, donuts, coffee, sandwiches, and stop by and say hi.
You know, the advantage with your company is it's family owned, family operated, and it's not a big box. So, but you're big enough to have the big showrooms and the selection and things people need when it comes to flooring, cabinets, or countertops. But that's the advantage, is that you're not some big chain, right?
100%. So the focus remains on that personal one-on-one relationship with our customers.
Yep. I think it's important that you go and ask them questions, okay? With those showrooms, there's nothing when it comes to these types of products than to actually look at them, touch, taste, feel them. And they're in Niles and Chicago. Best thing to do is go to the website, get all the information at AAmericanFlooring.com, AAmericanFlooring.com. Adrian Iluna, thanks for being on the show.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Home Answers on AM 560, The Answer.